It's really starting to feel like a fight week, guys. We got face-offs. We got, oh my God, this guy's so much bigger than this guy, or this guy's bigger than I thought. That's how I know we're in fight week. This is gonna be a fun video for some people. You know, I know you guys like reactions. We're gonna be breaking down first of all this face-off. Is their first appearance. We're gonna also be breaking down a small Ian Garry interview that was on ESPN because I feel like I seen some headlines that he was being really delusional in that interview. I haven't watched the interview, but I'm gonna watch a portion of it. And then we're gonna look at media day. Now I know a lot of people. Oh, can you react to the Demetrius Johnson one? I like reacting to things blind. I saw a good amount of that. All right, guys. I know you guys are like probably begging. Oh, please, maybe members only. I don't know. We'll see. That was mostly like banner though. Like it was funny. Like I saw the thing. He says, "Brother, why ask your wife?"
Bro, you're gonna be like famous
You
guy
sh
in Dagestan.
you sure? Are you gonna back me up on that?
Of course, I'll take care of you. Don't worry, bro.
Okay. All right. Well, I gotta talk to the wife. We want to do a
Talk
mighty
to
journey
wife.
out there.
Talk to wife.
Hey, this is
What's
how
happening, bro?
this
You
is
are
how
the,
my
like,
marriage works. This is how my marriage works,
best
Islam.
fighter in the world, bro. You have to ask. You have to tell her, but not ask.
Like there were some funny moments for sure. But guys, I know everyone's in a happy place. You guys are all jolly. I'm nervous. I don't know am I the only one nervous, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit scared guy. No, I want to react to I want to grab onto energy. I want to grab onto what certain fighters are saying going into the fight. I was seeing Ian Garry saying things he's ready to throw over 20 oblique kicks, which is not surprising, man. Like I said, I did a lot of research on this one, and it's one of those fights that I'm excited. So let's just get a gauge of their first energy. There's going to be a lot of reactions in this video. Starting off with this face-off reaction, there's so much controversy. Not controversy, so much just buzz behind this because, oh my God, oh my days, bro, Islam is taller than Ian Garry, or Islam's bigger than I thought. Yeah, people milk the hell out of that, guys. I'm not gonna lie. People are milking the hell out of the size of Islam, height of Islam, or how short Garry is. But let's react to it first. Let's get a good read. I'm gonna react to it off an energy standpoint initially, and then I'm gonna get on to what I feel about the whole height situation. But yeah, I've watched this. I haven't watched this camera angle. It looks a lot fresher. It looks a lot fresher, man. But we're gonna get a vibe of their energy in this one. Let's watch. Oh my God, they were both locked in. They were definitely both locked in. Ian turns away first. Not gonna take much from that. Islam's still giving him a little mean mug. Hey, Shiva, why are you staring at him? I see that. Islam's still looking at him. Islam turns away. Garry puts his fist up. Islam puts his fist up. You guys know I do get into this. I'm gonna overanalyze when the ceremonial weigh-ins come in, but this is their first showing. And the big thing right here is you can see them side by side is that oh my God, Islam's almost as tall as Ian Garry, guys. Ian Garry was wearing soleless shoes. You guys know those shoes with the toes sticking out. I'm gonna put a little screenshot of his shoes so you guys know. He had soleless shoes, and I'm not gonna lie, Islam had. I don't want to. Oh, dude, people saying Islam had heels on. No, Islam did have some thick. He has some thick soles though. I will say that. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not taking a lot from this. I'm not gonna lie. What I can take from the sides is that Islam looks bigger. When I say bigger, I mean stronger. Ian Garry, his frame is not looking promising. I know he's natural. I already told you guys in the breakdown and stuff, he's 180 and cuts down to 170, so he's not really making a cut. So fight weeks like this are easier for him. He's already vegan anyways, but he could eat a little bit more freely. Islam's gonna be a little bit more restricted, and Islam does look bigger than he usually does. He looks thick, man. His shoulders look broad, whereas Ian Garry looks a bit flimsy, and this is why I'm very confident in Islam. This actually made me less nervous. I'm actually gonna say that the face-off made me less nervous because I heard Ian Garry was bulking. I seen some pictures. Maybe he looked a little bit bigger, guys. But when you see them side by side, when Islam Makhachev gets this dude on the ground, brother, hey, Shiba, it's gonna be a problem. It's going to be a problem when he gets him on the ground. And yes, I will say obviously I'm not gonna look at this oh my God, low key Ian Garry's short, But I am looking at this. Of course, Ian Garry has no soles in his shoes, so he's practically barefoot. And Islam does have soles, but it's a little bit more reassuring. And people are saying Ian Garry's lying about his height. No, he's 6'3". I actually saw Ian Garry run into Jalen Turner, who's also 6'3". They're the same height. Ian Garry's 6'3", guys. You guys, listen. Did people say short 6'3", tall 6'3"? I don't know. Like, I'm 6'4". I bet if I was next to Garry, you'd barely be able to tell the difference, you know? Like, an inch is not something crazy. Of course, it's like 5 inches, so it's supposed to be more noticeable. You know, I remember when Islam was even next to Bilal, I think they're both listed at the same height. I swear Islam looked a bit taller. I don't know. Like, by the end of the day, guys, they're going to be fighting with no shoes on. And I will say this. Ian Garry, honestly, like, I've noticed this, though. Like, even in his fights, like, when he was going against MVP, they were the same height, but I swear MVP looked taller than him. Even Protez looked about the same height. It's not like, because he's a little bit lower when he's actually in the octagon. So, like, the height advantage, if you're looking at it from a height advantage, it's not that big of a deal, guys. The biggest thing to take away as far as, like, physicality, structure is concerned is that Islam looks a lot stronger and a lot bigger than Ian Garry, which is a pro, not a con if you're an Islam fan. All right, no more yapping about this. First thing we're going to look at is, guys, is the ESPN interview. I heard some things that Ian Garry said, like some headlines. I didn't watch the video, but I was hearing some headlines. And the headlines, like, almost made me like, okay, I don't know if this guy is overconfident or something. I don't know what kind of vibe he's rocking with. But we're going to play, get a good reaction to this and see what he was talking about. Let's see. I don't even know if this was, I'm pretty sure this is the video because I remember him wearing this, but like, we'll see what type of energy he's on. I heard it was a bit delusional, and I love when people are delusional, especially fighters I don't like. I don't dislike him, but fighters who are going against my favorite fighters, I like when they sound a little bit stupid. Let's click play.
Can you talk about your confidence going into this fight? I think
Yeah.
it's a big thing. I think that you've always had natural confidence, but can you talk about where that comes from and how you built it specifically for this guy who is, you know, as we all know, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world?
Mm-hmm.
The first day I ever walked into an MMA gym, I went in confident about my stand-up, confident about my boxing and my hands, having that been my first introduction and first love in martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
When I went into literally my first MMA sparring class, I've actually got a friend of mine here with me on Fight Week. He's the guy I'm going to speak about, but Callum Liston, a friend of mine, he took me down and manhandled me because his game was wrestling. And from that moment on, all I have ever done is focus on people stopping me, stopping people's takedowns, not allowing them to have that success, not allowing them to get their momentum flowing, and irritate and frustrate and punch them in between and find every way possible to prevent them from having success and allow me to shine. Look at the Shavkat fight.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm smiling when he's talking. He reminds me of myself, like the way sometimes I be talking with my hands, but he's just yapping right now. But I'm not gonna lie, I do like his mentality. Like, I know people don't like him. I like his mentality. Like, I will say I am a big mindset person, and like, I do like the way even he articulates himself. I think the hate really stems from, like, you know, people around him. But like, I rate his confidence in himself for sure.
I stopped. I think between Shavkat and Bilal, I stopped 15 of 17 takedowns.
That's true.
I've been unbelievably elite.
But they're not Islam. But I see what he's saying. That is true. That is true. And his takedown defense, like, I keep applauding it in those fights. It actually was really good. Bilal's takedowns wasn't really hard to defend. No offense to Bilal. Shavkat had some good moments, though, some good trips. And his ability to stay up was very impressive in those fights against Shavkat.
At stopping people getting me down.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been submitted. I've never been knocked out. I know what I'm capable of. And Islam Makhachev is amazing at what he does. But I know I'm able to handle everything he has to throw. I know that. And I know how good he is. I respect him as a fighter so much. I've seen his dominance. I have seen his dissection of people. It's beautiful to watch. I know I'm able to do it differently.
Yeah.
Wait, guys. Can I explain something? This confidence is different than a Topuria confidence. Like, Topuria dismissing Gaethje and saying, like, he's just gonna run through him because he's a nobody. And stylistically, it makes sense why he would think that and stuff. But like, going into the fight saying, I'm gonna take whatever you throw at me, I'm gonna knock you out, and him literally fighting like that, like, he was confident in his abilities, which is great, but he was dismissive. He's not dismissive. Like, I see real confidence And he's like smirking. Like, what's funny, boy? Like, you something funny, gang? Like, you smirking like he knows something or something. Like, I don't know what he thinks he knows, but I do rate the confidence. I can't lie. Like, he seems confident for a specific reason. And honestly, I don't doubt his confidence as far as like, I don't see why he shouldn't be feeling like this. Maybe he's feeling a little too frisky, you get me? But I'm jacking it. I'm jacking it a bit. And he's not dismissing the skill of Islam too. That's one thing I'm noticing. It's not like he's like, Islam's not that great. He's saying I know how good he is. I love watching him. He's a student of the game, but he just knows something. And I respect the confidence. I do.
It's probably maybe not, but it might be hard to compare the challenge of the two. But I look at Islam, and of course, I mean, he's brilliant. He's amazing. But he also has looked human. You know, I mean, he went all the way down to the wire against Alexander Volkanovski. Dustin Poirier took 2 rounds from him on a scorecard, what 2 years ago. And that was at lightweight, and now obviously coming up at welterweight. How does he compare, I guess, to like the boogeyman Shavkat? Like when you were getting ready, and especially because that fight was on short notice, your confidence and just your mindset going in, is there any comparisons or differences between the two?
I don't like to compare Islam to other fighters because I think everybody's different. Everybody presents different challenges, different problems. Every opponent. For example, I think. But if you look at the people we fought, so if you look at my last 5 opponents versus Islam's last 5 opponents,
This is it, I think.
in my opinion, it's not a discussion who's more difficult. When you look at who I fought, Bilal Muhammad, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Carlos Prates, MVP, those 4 are 4 of the trickiest fighters on the planet. All of them present real danger. When you look at JDM, Renato Moicano, Dustin Poirier, and the other 4th one, I think, was Volkanovski, if I'm correct.
I believe so, yeah.
You know, this is actually what I saw I saw a tweet about this. The way the tweet was formatted, though, it made Ian Garry like sound stupid. Like something about like his level of opposition was way better. You know, hearing it out loud. No. Like I saw the tweet and I laughed and I scrolled. I did. I laughed and I scrolled. I was like, bro, there's no way Ian Garry said that. Like his resume's better. That's what the tweet was like formatted for. But like hearing him say it out loud and actually hearing the context, like, no, he's actually right. Oh my God, he's right. Like Shavkat is a harder test than a lot of people. You know, Shavkat might be a harder test than every one of Islam's opponents. Maybe Charles, though. Like stylistically. And then Prates is a tricky one too. MVP, I actually agree with that. But stylistically, MVP would have a hard time with Islam. You know, styles make fights. But honestly, after hearing what he's saying, I actually don't think he's like wrong. Man. Yo, this might be something like people have to consider. Like those, like Shavkat, Prates, Bilal, you know, even MVP, those are low-key killers, man. Or like tricky stylistic matchups. You know, Dustin was good at that time too. Dustin's a dog, you know. Dustin's actually comparable to Bilal. People are going to laugh at that. I know they are. But like, I bet Bilal will give Islam like just as competitive of a fight as Dustin. Maybe even make it a little bit more like, I don't know. I don't even know. But no, that's not a horrible take. I thought this take was going to be worse. I thought this was a delusional take, but it wasn't. Fuck.
As much as Volkanovski is a legend of the sport and Dustin Poirier is a legend of the sport, they're not as dangerous as the guys I've just mentioned.
He's right.
Not only that, every single one of them is bigger, longer.
That's kind of what I was thinking of. No, that was more what I was thinking of. Like they're like stylistically, they're like actually like a tough ask. Like Islam stylistically should have an easier time with the Volkanovski than a Shavkat stylistically. And it doesn't pour like stylistically. Even Prates, it's like Prates is way harder than a Moicano stylistically, for being honest. Holy shit, he has a point. He definitely has a point, you know.
Shavkat was 18-0 and 18 finishes when I fought him. He had like 10 knockouts and 8 submissions. Carlos Prates had an 11-fight win streak by knockouts.
Even the JDM fight, Prates nearly killed him. And then like Ian Garry actually schooled Prates like badly, and Ian Garry was on short notice. Like he's good. No, Ian Garry's good.
When I fought him, I've been fighting the highest level of MMA fights against the toughest opponents. When I step into this octagon against Islam Makhachev, I'm going to prove to the world why Imma Shadow is truly great.
You know, this might be something that, of course, is important in every fight. And indulge me a little bit because I do want to talk about the fight itself and the X's and O's. And I know you probably don't want to give too much away, but I'm fascinated by this fight. I think technically this is arguably the best fight of the entire year.
Me too.
How important is it to you, and how
Me too.
do you ensure that you get off to a good start? I would not want to be down after round one in a fight this highly competitive, this
I
highly
agree.
skilled. Is that something that you have?
Yeah, I like Brett. He got to do more of these, and I agree. I think no one. This goes for both fighters. No one wants to be down. If Islam Makhachev is like can't really find his timing with the takedowns, he's down 2 rounds because this guy's running away from him. I'm saying running away in a respectful, like I'm not trying to hate on him, but he's like low kicking and running almost. That's not a good place to be. And same with Ian. If he gets taken down early, and then like his movement starts to be a little bit slower, that's not good. So I'm going to say the start is going to be big because somebody's going to have to play catch up. And the way it works stylistically is that whoever's playing catch up, they really got to do something urgent later. And honestly, it'd be better if Islam was down because he could like find a submission late. But if Ian Gary's down early, I don't see him fighting a knockout late. It could happen, he gets into a good flow state, but that's a really good question by Brett. I like Brett.
Discussed and like, am I making too much of that, or is a quick start very important in this fight?
It is.
I've not thought about it like that. I think about going in there and beating him by any means necessary. It doesn't matter how the first second goes. It doesn't matter how the last second goes, or anything in between. As long as I'm doing everything in that moment to make the right decision, to cause the most beautiful violence I possibly can, and do everything correct to get my hand raised. By any means necessary to get my hand raised against Islam Makhachev is how I'm going to win this fight.
How about risk taking, Ian? I mean, you fight. You're capable of fighting in different ways. You've switched up your style against different opponents. I mean, I think you at your best is when you're kind of playing a cat and mouse game, and when you're maintaining that range that you want. I feel like a guy number 1 pound for pound, a champion like Islam, you're going to have to go in there and really take it from him. And it's like how do you view?
No, I actually disagree with that, but I see what he's trying to say. He's like, the judges aren't going to help you. This is what I think with the whole cat and mouse game he was talking about. I think if Ian Gary makes it look competitive, the judges actually be like, you know what? I don't know who won that round. For example, say Ian Gary's like landing a lot of obliques and like running. I keep saying running, but like running. And then like there's a wrestling exchange, and he stuffs it, but he's kind of on the fence too long and getting hit a little bit, and then he separates it. Like if Islam's not scoring and like dominating, I actually think the fight's gonna be like, fucking a judge gave Dustin Poirier 2 rounds. He was down 4-0. Like, let's be honest. So, and Dustin, it's like stupid like that. So I actually disagree with that. He doesn't really need to put a statement on the rounds. He just needs to stuff the takedowns and make the rounds look close. And I think they'll give it to him.
I guess aggression and risk in this fight.
I think, but what you're saying there, I think that's how every challenger has to go into a fight against the champion. You can't just scrape a win against the champion because it's hard being the champion of the world. It's hard being the guy that everybody is trying to beat, everybody is preparing for. You can't just walk in there and marginally win. In my mind, you have to go in there and make it absolutely abundantly clear that you won that fight. That's my opinion.
Okay. I disagree, but okay.
For me, it's being efficient. It's not about risk taking. It's about efficiency.
Oh, he gets it.
It's about making the right calculated decision to cause the most damage and remain safe.
Yeah.
Risks are the risk is entering in the octagon. Do you know what I mean? We're both of us are two of the greatest.
Oh man, this is what I mean. Like I hate. He's like smart, and I don't like it. Like what he just said was a very articulated, good response. Like he was like, "Bro, the risk is getting in there, bro. I am going to be calculated without getting hit." Like he literally just said that. I'm going to hit and not get hit. That's what the best fighters in the world do. Ian Gary gets it. I hate that he gets it so well. Like he understands.
Fighters perform.
All right, I get where he's going with this, but yeah, I actually do agree with this. I actually heard sparring stories about like how he like tells people like don't hit him in the head or something. Honestly, I don't mind that and all that. Like I don't like that's the end of the video. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that because we gotta look at some of his media day things. This is a longer video. And let me just say something before I get into the media day situation. There's been a lot of things online about Ian Gary, his son, his wife. And I actually think it's getting to him. And this is going to point to why I believe it's getting to him. Because the way he starts off this little interview, or not interview, like media day. Look how he starts it off. I'm not even going to say too much. Just look at this.
Right. Good morning, folks. How are we? Before we start, I just want to make one thing abundantly clear. I've got the biggest fight of my life this weekend. I am absolutely, completely fucking focused on the fight. So let's stick to the professional stuff. Yeah? Stick to the fighting. Let's talk about the fighting. Let's talk about Islam. Let's talk about the fight. Nothing else.
Now, the reason I say at least that is giving like, all right, he's going, because it's almost like he's sick of it. It's like, I know he says, I don't read social, I stay off that, but you could tell he's definitely seeing what's being said about his wife. Oh, I got to ask permission from my brother. You know, he's seeing all these things going around, and he hates it, and it's getting in his head. And I think that he had to clear it up by like, listen, I'm not about to sit here and watch you media day people, you know, ask me some fucked questions. I'm not trying to hear all that, but I do respect it, you know, but it's definitely like, it's starting to take it. So I can see it in his eyes. I can see his eyes watering a little bit, you know, bro. He's a little bit bothered. He's confident, but he's bothered. Definitely by the media. But this is a 30-minute thing. I'm probably going to cut it, some of this. I don't know. But let's just see the essence of this. And then we're going to go to Islam. So that's about 15 minutes long. We'll probably watch the whole thing.
Is this best case scenario, like getting, like I said, not just fighting for the title, but the guy?
Yeah, it is.
Winning a world title in the UFC is amazing. Doesn't matter who you beat to become the world champion. You're forevermore a UFC world champion. But just like when Conor McGregor beat Jose Aldo, who hadn't been beaten 10 years, there was a different, okay, this is legit. I get the same opportunity to fight the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet, a man who is on a record-setting win streak that we haven't seen since the great Anderson Silva. So for me to go out there against him, who many consider to be a generational talent, they're starting to talk about him in the GOAT conversation. For me to go out there and have
We're not just starting, Garry. We've been starting.
that as the challenge that I have to go out and beat to prove not only I'm the champion of the world, but I really, truly am the best on the planet. It's exactly what I want.
I'm not going to lie. Like, this gives, like, everything to gain, nothing to lose. If he loses, guys, no one's going to care. And I hate that the odds like minus 400 Islam. Like, let's be real. If he loses, it's like, all right, it was supposed to happen. If he wins, oh my God. Bad. I don't even want to think about it, to be honest.
Is he a guy that you think you'll have to beat twice, considering, you know, everything he's done? In the past, we've seen
Good question. He has 0 defenses, so probably not, honestly.
guys with these long win streaks, they lose and then they get the immediate rematch just based on their resume. Is Islam a guy you have to beat twice to finally put an end to it?
I think let's focus on beating him once, and then we can focus on beating him twice. Does that make sense? But it all depends on the fashion. If I go out there and I scalp him in 2 minutes, do you want to see me fight him again straight away? Do you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. If we have a back and forth war like he had with Volkanovski, then it probably would warrant a rematch. But also, there's many other challenges here that are exciting at the same time. So,
Yo, Islam can't lose. He's not getting the rematch. Yo, he can't lose. It's gonna be like a Hamza, like fucking Strickland situation. Like, oh my God, we can't lose. We actually can't lose this shit, gang. I'm not doing this again. I just did this like a couple months ago with Hamza Strickland. We're not doing this shit again. We're not. I'm not, at least. I will quit. You guys think I won't leave this channel and just have it collect dust? Shibai, brother. No, we can't.
let's get through Saturday night. Let's get the win, and then we'll see in what fashion I get the victory and if there's a rematch on the cards. But I wouldn't be against it. I think he's earned enough.
Yeah. Keep yapping.
How do you see the fight playing out in your mind?
People are talking about it being an interesting fight, but the truth is it's such a black and white fight. He has to get me down. I have to keep it on the feet. However, it's the most elite of both of those worlds. He is unbelievably good when he grabs a hold of people, and I am unbelievably good at moving around on the feet and being the best striker in the world. So it's how do we get our games going to win the fight? Who's going to control the fight, who's going to get the fight where they want it.
He's really right about this. Like, and I was thinking about that the other day. Like, when I was doing the whole like 100+ hours, I was thinking like, it'd be a bit weird if this fight was like wicked competitive and back and forth, because he's right. Like, if he's just kind of keeping his standing and cruising and low kicking and circling and then jumping into his box and flow states, he's gonna win. And if Islam takes him down and just mauls him and nearly chokes him, he's gonna win. Or chokes him, he's gonna win. And it's a pretty black and white fight in that aspect, which is interesting because whoever gets this, like whoever wins this fight, whoever said, "Oh, I called that," they're gonna be a genius. Oh, I called Ian Garry was gonna stick him, you know? Yeah, but yeah, he's right. I'm not even glazing here. Do you guys know what I mean when I say like I feel like I don't see much UFC fighters with this intellect when they're like approaching a fight? You know, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just glazing because I'm nervous, but I don't know.
To be, keep it where they want it to be. Can he grab a hold of me, keep a hold of me, get me to the ground, hold me down? Can I stop him taking me down? Can I keep the movement? Can I keep hitting him, keep hurting him? And that's the fight. But it's I believe it's the most elite version of a striker versus a grappler that we've ever seen in the sport.
Van Tyra. Or maybe I'm just saying that. Actually, he's right. No, because Islam's a better grappler than Tyra. I think, oh yeah, and Gary's not a better striker objectively than Van, but he's better at hitting and not getting touched.
I think it's the next generation of what MMA has turned into, because Islam is no slouch on the feet. Look at what he did to Jack Della Maddalena. Like, the guy can strike, but we don't talk about it because he's so good at the grappling.
I don't like this. He's trying to gaslight Islam to strike. Bro, keep talking and keep it pushing.
And for me, it's very simple. He is a phenomenal fighter in every facet of the game, as am I. And I think this is one of the most well-rounded fights we've ever seen in the UFC, full stop.
You can't grab him, buddy.
Ian, you had a face-off with Islam last night on the Rocky steps and everything. Any takeaways from that? Does he look like, a true welterweight now to you? And was that your first time ever seeing him in person?
No. Second time I've ever seen him in person. The first time I seen him in person was backstage at Vegas. And him and his team were like shouting at, I think it was Nick or Nate Diaz. There was a little bit of beef backstage. And I remember just turning to him and going, "Hey, brother, don't waste your time." And that was it. And he was like, "Hey," that was it. That's the only ever interaction.
He's such like a, dude, I don't know, man. Like, no, I'm not even like, bro, like, like a part of me like sees why people don't like him, and then a part of me is like, yo, that's why people don't like me. Like, I'm not saying I'm like Ian Garry, but like when someone I feel like sometimes if you don't like someone because you just hear things about them, it's easier not to like them, so you give your responses. Like, I'm sure people who don't watch me were like, "Oh, I know Kenny Okoye MMA. I heard he only likes black fight, so I hate him already." You know, they're just assuming things, and then like they see me like do things, and like, "Oh, I hate him even more." I don't know, like Ian Garry, like I don't even want to say he's unlikable, but like there's something about him. I can't lie. Like I was just watching back the Hamza backstage situation when he's smacking Hamza back. There's something condescending and weird about him. I'm gonna be honest. I got to, and like even that story, like he did nothing wrong to like explaining that. He's like, "Oh, hey," but like. It just bothered me, eh? I'm weird. See, this is why. See, I'm someone who like self-reflects out loud, so I feel very embarrassed that I'm saying this because it seems like I'm being very rude to him and like not giving him a chance. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not perfect, brother. I'm sorry.
I've ever had with him. I don't even know if he remembers it, but it was just like, you don't need to waste your time, my friend.
But he's a fan, like, and I get that as a fan of the sport. He's also a fan of the sport and fan of these fighters. He's a fan of Islam. His son's a fan of Islam. I get it. As a fan, you fan out of it when you're telling stories. I'm the same way. So I can't dislike him for it.
No, look, he's not going to be undersized when it comes to weight. There's not going to be any difference from a strength.
Yeah, he looked way bigger than you. Say it how it is.
Point of view, he's going to be strong. He's going to weigh the same as me. However, I physically couldn't make 155. So when we...
Okay, because you're 6'3", but like, I like... He doesn't weigh the same as you either. He's going to weigh like 189, 190-ish, maybe 192. I think he got bigger on fight night. You're going to be about 180, gang. Maybe like 182. So
the same as me.
And yeah, you physically can't make one, because as someone who's 6'4", I mean, I could actually make 155. I was actually just 155 recently because I was losing, but I lost a lot of muscle there. Now I'm bulking back up. But like, he can make 155, I bet. He's on a vegan diet too. He definitely can.
However, I physically couldn't make 155.
He can.
So when we talk about natural welterweights, I'm bigger. I couldn't make the weight he used to make. So size-wise, people are talking about it online. It doesn't correlate for me the same way. I think it's more stylistically this fight is interesting than size. If anything, me being tall is better for him because there's more room for him to get under, to get to my leg. There's more leg to get. Do you know what I mean? So
Kind of. But it's also harder to like lift a tall guy because they have a good post and like there's advantages and disadvantages. Yes, when he has a lower center of gravity, so he can maybe get to the legs easier. But I also think like people like Garry do a good job framing with their length. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, sure.
I just kind of felt like yesterday he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be at the face-off. I sensed a little bit of like nervous energy from him, but those face-offs, they're fake. They're for social media. They're for Instagram. They're for obligations. They're not for us. The face-off that matters to me is Friday. When we've made weight, we've done all the hard work, we show up in front of the fans, and it's the last time we get to look at each other before we meet in the octagon. That's the one that matters to me.
True. But what the hell is he talking about nervous? I just watched at the start, guys. Islam, like, he turned away first. Islam looked like locked. I don't know what he's talking about. But that's really what I wanted to watch of this meet today. We're probably going to get the same questions after this over and over again. But, yeah. Let's get into Islam's media day.
Your first time going into a fight with 2 belts sitting in front of you is everything you dreamed of, right? So how good does it make you feel?
It's make me smile when I see 2 belts here. Yesterday,
You make me smile.
Face to face, they just give me 1 belt. I'm a little bit upset now and good.
Speaking of the face-off yesterday, Ian was in here earlier and he said he felt nervous energy from you in the face-off and that you didn't want to be there. What did you make of that? What do you make of those comments from him?
I don't know how I just not like something I want to go there. Like I've been there before also, and I don't see anything from his eyes. I just see his eyes, and I'm not nervous. This is like my second fight week in my life where I'm enjoying every moment.
Was the last one the first?
Yeah, the last one and this one.
Yeah, and a lot of people are talking about what you two would look like next to each other. Is he much bigger than you? It didn't seem like he was that much taller. Did you notice that as well?
Yeah, I tell the Rizwan, UFC have to check my tall again because it was 10 years ago first time. Now I'm a little bit taller.
Check my tall again. Ah, he's so cool. Ah, we're fucking cool. Fuck, go. Damn, man, we're cool as hell.
Also, at the face-off yesterday, apparently Ian's son is a big fan of yours, and he wanted to meet you, and he started crying when he couldn't. What do you think of that, and will you give him the opportunity to meet you this week?
Yeah, sure, we will meet him. I don't see him there, but I make him happy.
As well, right here. Ian was in here and he said that his fight against you, he feels, is the highest level of martial artists competing against each other, you versus him, that we've had in a long time. So when you do watch Ian's skill set and tape and everything, is he that skilled and possibly the most skilled opponent you've had?
I don't know, maybe like in the
Yes.
welterweight, if you watch the last fight, Mandalin, it's like more boxer. But I think Ian have more skills, He's good in the striking. He have good wrestling defense. But he have some weak point. He's not completely like 100% like myself. But he's good. He's gonna be good fight. And I saw he have like good takedown defense. And I have some things I have some key to beat him easy.
Okay, he's doing good. He's not dismissing him. He just said at the end he has some keys to beat him easily. I wonder what those keys are. Maybe wrestling a single, but the balance is pretty good. I don't know, but he knows something, which is I'm happy. He said he's gonna beat him easy. He said he's skilled, but he's gonna beat him easy. So there's things, man. I know once Islam gets on top of him, I know what's gonna happen. I did fucking footage, but I'm curious to how quick he's gonna get him down. I'm interested though. It's a fun fight.
Ian said that his last 4 opponents are much better than your last 4 opponents. I'm curious if
I actually agree with that. I want to see what Islam says.
you agree with that assessment and what you think of the people that he's faced.
Last 4? Before he said last 5. I've said like why he don't respect his teammate Charles Oliveira. Now he say 1 last 4. I don't know. When he have good opponents, he just lose. That's it. When he have sharp.
He's right. You know, he lost the shop. when he has good opponents, you just lose. That's it. But that's a crazy statement. But he's right. It's a crazy statement, but he's right. Ay, caramba.
Mate Charles Oliveira. Now he say 1 last 4. I don't know. When he have good opponents, he just lose. That's it. When he have Shavkat, if he talk too much, just look at your fight. That guy beat you 4 rounds. That's it.
Earlier today, Ian said that he beat Shavkat for 24 minutes. Was it right? Yeah. Oh, Carlos, excuse me.
He just Carlos.
Yeah, sorry. Man.
He can beat Carlos, but he can beat everyone. But I'm not same like that, guys. I'm different.
Do you agree with? I saw your manager say this. Do you agree that Ian is going to run from you throughout the fight?
Yes.
Sure. He have same style or every fight. He just run.
I want Islam to talk about how he's gonna chase him and lead. That's what I want to hear right now. I made that whole video yesterday, Islam. I wish I could delete that video because Ian Garry can't be watching that game.
Run back, and he just working for the point. I don't remember when he finished someone last time.
Last one for me. What do you make of Ian as a person,
Okay.
right? Sometimes he does interviews and says things and people react badly. I'm curious if you ever watch his interviews and what you think of Ian.
Can you repeat the question?
What do you think of Ian as a person? Sometimes he does interviews.
Person?
Yeah.
I think he's good person, good guy, but he act like he's like bad boy, something like this. But I tell in the interview also, we will make him humble, we will make him good guy.
Islam back here. You, Khabib, now Chanko. There's so many great fighters from Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov school. Who are the next fighters we'll see in the UFC? Like, what's the future? Do you have some names?
Usman?
Yeah.
I think Usman. We have to.
I think after
see him
Usman
next.
and Umar is wraps.
Obviously, your grappling is probably the best in the UFC right now. If there ever is a point in this fight where you're unable to get the takedown, could you purely outstrike Ian Garry?
Ooh.
Yeah, sure. Like, watch my fights against Volkanovski, against Dustin Poirier. I can strike with anyone, but the Bulls fight where I strike with these guys is more this like hard fight for me, you know. That's why if wrestling not working, grappling not working, I can strike with anyone. But if I want the easy win, I have to take them down and finish them.
Sure.
He answered that well. He answered that well. He answered that well. I'm not even stressing. I was stressing a bit. No, he answered that well. What's it called? Yeah, he's right. Like at least he knows when he's forced to strike with some of these guys, it's hell. And like Ian Garry's a better striker than all those guys, just from his threat that he poses to Islam. So as long as Islam knows that, listen, you gotta wrestle, man. You might have to Habib Nurmagomedov max, like keep shooting, and not entertain defeat too much. This is my opinion, because the longer you stand, the more your front leg could get compromised, which makes takedowns harder in the long run. So I hope he understands this.
And Ian Garry said that becoming a vegan kind of took his performance to another level. Is that something you'd ever consider?
Oh, they're rage baiting him.
No, it's not. It's not Dagestan style, bro. Our old traditional food about meat.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Rage bait question.
Islam over here. Ian talked a lot about his family and the presence of his family. I know you like to keep that private, but I was just wondering if you could tell us how many kids you have and if any of them are training in any sports.
Now I have 3 kids. They just still small, you know. For future, I don't know. I don't want my kids to be like fighters. Maybe for sure in Dagestan, when you go to the school, you have to go wrestling or somewhere. They got training, but we'll see. If they want, I just not stop them, you know. I just help them, but I don't want my kids to be some professional fighters or like some other sports. Because when I grew up, and my mother and father always far from me, you know, because I always traveling, always like in training camp, in fighting. But I want to stay with my kids.
And
Because already, bro, they are like 5, 7, 6 years old. I don't see him a lot.
All right, yeah. That was a good little media day scrum. I feel like, you know, I like this media day. You know, I feel like Islam gets it. I feel like Garry gets it. I think both guys get it. You know, I'm not saying both guys are like, you know, I think both guys understand like the threat in front of them. This is gonna make the you know, the match was more interesting. I'm excited for this one, guys. You know, I always gotta grab as much gems as I can, you know, and try to grasp what I can before the fight. And I'm liking what I'm seeing for both parties. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. That's it for me. I'm Golden Bless. 2, 3.